Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video here at Detailing with Gary. So today, I ordered this bumper and then I was painting it black. I already got the paint and all that, but I was just gonna show you guys how to prep a bumper. Basically the first thing is, once you get it, make sure there isn't any like dents or minor defects. If not, you could always return it or see what's wrong. If not, you could just fix it and learn yourself. But basically it's just black bumper in here, and then I don't have 1000 grit, and then I also don't have a scuff pad, otherwise I would have just scuffed this whole bumper. Well, I have 1000 grit, 1500 grit, my bad. And then I got some water right here. So basically to prep it, all you're basically doing is just scuffing it up. Since it's already black, all I want to do is just get that gritty feeling. So once we go to put that base coat on there, it sticks. And then also we're not fixing anything, so we don't have to sand like with the 320 grit or 180, because we're not fixing anything, or we're not also gonna prime anything. So we're just shooting base coat and clear coat on this thing. So basically, whenever it's like this stuff around like the edges inside that you really don't see, for those you could just give it a quick scuff. But for most of like the part back here, you actually want to sand it. So basically, pretty simple here. Most of the stuff in auto body is basically sanding. So all you're gonna do, I don't have a block or anything, but since most of this stuff is straight, there really isn't like no imperfections here. All we're doing is literally sanding. So the goal here is basically just to get everything nice and dull. So all you're doing is just sanding till it gets dull. And then if you got like shop towels, as you're going, you can work smaller sections if you're not comfortable, and then you can wipe it down and then just see progress. Also, you could use like a DA. I don't have any air tools right now, but you could also use a DA, cut with the razor blade, and then you could just use that and go around the whole thing. But since I don't have those tools right now, I'm gonna be using my hands, and then all you're basically doing is just sanding. And then always be careful with the corners, because you can rub through, or you can make those little curves not be curves anymore. So you just want to be aware of that. So basically all you're doing, I'm gonna try to find a picture of when I did my uncle's grill, and then I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. But all you're doing is just trying to make it go. So basically, less talking and let's get to work. Alrighty guys, so as you guys see, I did my first pass right there. There's a couple spots here and there where you see kind of like that stuff. That's kind of like orange peel. Just try to minimize it. Even if you can't, it's alright. But the most important part is to get it done. And then even though right here, I'm gonna just hit it with the scuff pad once I take it back to the school. And then we'll just paint it black and then the clear coat. So I'm gonna grab the other half of that sandpaper and then just hit it one more time, and then we'll call it good. Also make sure you guys hit these cracks right here, just because water gets there. You want to make sure you prep it good so that way it doesn't peel. And then also just give it a quick pass, kind of like in the bottom, even though most of the moldings will go on there. And then you just kind of have to look for the parts that show on the car. So basically like this, you know, it won't show because it'll be tucked in. For example, here on the truck right here, it's tucked in right there so you can't really see it. But also if you see right there, we like kind of like the paint is peeling, it hasn't been repainted, but over time stuff like that can happen. So always just make sure you prep it good so that way you don't run through any of those problems. But basically once I got the bumper, it was folded in, I let it in the sun, and then basically laid it like this so that way all those creases went away. And then you just gotta make sure you order the right part. And then a lot of the times they could send you the wrong one, so always check it and all that good stuff. But as you guys see, nice and dull here. You can see the light from the ring light. So one more pass and we'll call it good. Alrighty guys, so as you guys see, it's nice and dull. And then if you run your fingers across, it's super smooth. That's how it should feel, nice and smooth all the way around. And then just make sure you get those light passes right here. But basically, let's say you're doing body work, and then let's just say this is your primer stage or whatnot. To check imperfections, you could always use like wax and grease remover or water. So basically, just spray the whole thing down. The water probably won't stick as much, you might need a little bit more. But then just that way you can see those body lines. Let's see. I'm gonna try to see if I can fan it out here. Alright, you guys kind of get the gist of it. It kind of leaves it shiny. And then you could just kind of look right through it. This spray bottle's not that good. So basically, you just look down the side of it, and then as long as it looks nice and straight, that's how you know you're good. And then just basically match up sides to like the other side, and then all that good stuff. But basically, we're done here. So next step is base coat it and then clear coat it. So you guys will have to stay tuned for that part. And then I'm just gonna make it into parts whenever it's available. I'll go ahead and paint it. But for right now, we're just gonna sit back a little bit. And then I'll always make sure, like whenever you guys are clearing and then buffing, I'll also show you guys that stuff right there. Getting rid of those dirt nubs. You always want to make sure you wipe down the area, because then all that stuff is just gonna stay there, and then it's gonna not make it look good, and then it won't come off, and then you have to sand it again, and then it's just more of a mess. But wet sanding, you guys might ask why I chose it. It's just easier, in my opinion, because whenever you kind of just leave it dry, it kind of likes to stick to the sandpaper. So I just like using water. Even though it makes a mess, you just clean it up after with like a rag or something. But basically, that is it for today's video. Alrighty guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. As you guys see, the mess with wet sanding and auto body work, and then also with the heat, kind of get that sweat in. But other than that, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content, and see you guys in that part 2.